We're 100%.
After the youth.
That's for sure.
Any better, Ann?
How
How about now? Can you hear us any better?
It's just not clear. It's just very muffled. That's all.
Yeah, very muffled.
All right, we will try to do our best to be a little louder.
When you test it, yes, can we have it on again?
Okay. Well, that's because you were closer.
No.
Okay, John, will you please read our mission statement?
Sure. The Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency delivers economic incentives to business and industry to diversify and strengthen Herkimer County's tax base, enhance community vitality by supporting job creation, business and industrial development, community revitalization. We strive to develop in an organized, sustainable, and environmentally beneficial manner.
The minutes were sent to you for the November 30th board meeting, pages 1 through 5. Are there any corrections, deletions, additions? Made. Motion to accept those. Dave Rick, second by Mike Burnsett. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I get a packet sent to?
And we have Bernie Poplinski in the audience. Wow. Hey, Bernie, how are you? We got several legislators, Mr. Campion, Mr. Hallam, and correcting Marco Lecky's on. Mary Butch's office. And Brian Miller's office. Somebody didn't know. All right, thank you for joining us. Item number 5, November financial reports. We're on 6 through 12. Financial report, down sheet, check register. And you want to walk us through those?
Well, I think if you look at everything, we're pretty financially stable for the upcoming year. You know, a lot of projects came through. We're pretty close to budget on everything. If anybody has any questions on anything that's up, we're happy to answer. Probably saw a little kick in payroll. What was that? Yeah, payroll expenses. That's we had to do our yearly send down to the state. So you see that in November. But other than that, nothing stands out. All of our loanees are up to date.
Any questions, comments? Need a motion to accept the financial reports for the includes. Second by Cory, any discussion? Favor aye. Aye.
Aye.
Carried. All right, let's go number 6, the annual election of officers. It's on page 13. Those are listed as slated officers. Chairman, myself, Vice Chairman Dave Goose.
I guess so. I'm just keep going till you replace me.
Well, we appreciate the reconsideration.
You don't have room for 3 board members to replace you.
No, good.
Secretary John Serrano, Treasurer Mike Winsett, Director Cory Albert, Director Kathy Murphy, and Director. The committees, Robbie One Committee are Ann, David, and John. The Audit and Governance Committee, the board as a whole. Marketing Committee, Dave Cluse, John Serrano. Finance Committee, the board as a whole, and Claims Auditor, primarily the primary is John Serrano, and secondary. Day of officers, I need a motion to.
We didn't really have a conversation with everybody. I just want to make sure. Did you talk to the individual people to see if they still wanted to be in their board position? No. Okay. So I think it's important that we at least make sure that they're interested in still sitting in that.
Is everyone interested in saying? Thank you.
I'm very interested.
Thank you. Can I have a motion now? Kate, second, Mike. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed,
Aye.
nay? Good, thanks. Item number 7, the 2020 Paris report update. Yeah.
Due to what the auditors found, we need to change some dollar amounts in the Harris report. In the next couple, well, I don't even know when. When will they be back, do you think, to give us an update for the board too? Couple of months?
Oh, it's gonna be a month or so.
So they're promising us, they promised us today was the last day they'd be here, yet they want to see some other things. So we're not exactly sure, but we're hopeful. They've only been here, I don't know, 2.5 years, it seems like, but no, 6 months, 6 months, 7 months, something like that.
Not every day.
No, most of the weeks though. Yeah,
You just-
yeah, they only miss they missed a snow day or something. We made one of them sick and not come in. But what they did was they opened a kind of something that we were, well, this one here is open. This one's the Adirondack one. Oh no, the solar's in here too. So all along in the Paris report, we put an explanation on our pilot, what we charge, 2,000 per megawatt with an escalator for 15 years. And wrote a description of that in the lines, and the ABO was fine with that. Sent that Paris report in for years because we also used it under our wind contracts as well, our wind pilots. One of our auditors decided to say that wasn't good enough for him. Contacted the ABO. The ABO now wants us to go back and do all of the wind project as well for how many years back? 15.
Well, it's been like 8 years. so
Okay.
far.
8 years back. So you're probably looking at 3 days of Stacy's work, just because this guy wasn't happy with the description. So everything's there and listed, but best practice tells them it shouldn't say that. Now, we go and take a look at what these assessors are assessing the two. The two solar projects are exactly the same. One assessed it at 60,000, the other assessed at what?
2.6.
2.6 million. Now, how they do this on a project that's not even attached, we can't figure that out, but that's not for us to say. It's just that we have to put in that the benefit on the exact same solar project to the company is much more for the $2.6 million one than it is for the 60,000 one. Two different assessors. So they kind of put us in a bad spot. He said, oh no, when I talked to the ABO, it was only going to be for this year. Well, that wasn't true either. The ABO went back. So that added to our other 2 audits that are going on. So, but best practice, you can't show me anywhere where it's written. We can't control the assessors. They don't even audit the assessors. So it's quite unique, the situation we're in. It's just more work for us.
The towns are targeted. So
The Tunnel Little Fall, oh, what do you mean for the wind?
the two different.
One's in the city, one's at Dave Casulo's, and then the other one is at that farm. Yeah. So the Gorchak farm one though is assessed at $2.6 million. Dave Casulo's is assessed at 60,000. It does not matter because we set the pilot at 2,000 per megawatt over 15 years with a 2% escalating clause. So the pilot does not vary with anybody. They're the same pilots for everyone. We've set them up with all of our other ones. Everything is status quo with that. He did not like the way we wrote it up because he felt as though the assessor, and the assessment means nothing to us, nor does it mean anything to anybody, because tomorrow you can go in and move them all. They're not permanent structures. But we had to go through this exercise with them. It took Stacy a day to try to figure out and work with the ABO. So, oh, no, we're going back and having to do all the wind one now too, that we didn't have to do in the past. How we're gonna figure this one is now each town that we have the wind projects with, Fairfield, Norway, who else up there? Newport, I don't think Ohio.
Tunnel Falls.
Little Falls, town of Little, we're gonna have to, each assessor will have those assessed differently as well.
37. parcels.
37 parcels we have to do.
There's 37 with.
Yep. No,
So
yeah,
we have to go calculate.
They gotta calculate each with,
we do. Because of this guy here.
he's just doing his job.
No, he's not. He's out for parental leave for 6 months. Having a baby. Yeah. Having a baby gets to leave for 6 months.
How does that affect what you're working on?
Oh, Stacy's time for how many days?
Him being out though doesn't.
Oh, he's done with his part of that audit. There's multiple parts to these audits. It's beautiful. It really is. And they call us in and talk to us 10 times about the same thing. And we go over the same thing. And I get to the point where you just told us this. Well, okay, you have to vote on this to pass this through. But the problem is the time, Jim. The amount of time that we're gonna have to spend going forward,
What are we voting?
the adjustments we made to the Paris report. Which we
I
actually,
thought we were voting on each window.
well, that'll be coming.
I have 37 motions.
Yeah.
This next Paris report.
I was just being sarcastic saying.
No.
Jim Wallace is one.
Oh, no, ABO demanded it. There's no, we have to do it. But the
But can they
ABO
show you in the law, John, where you have to do it?
Say that again, Jim?
Can they show you in the law where you have to do it? We had this happen to us a couple of years ago where they were here for 2 years when a particular legislator called the controller's office, and they stood here for 2 years and they begged us with what they thought they should have. They couldn't show us where we had to have that.
You're correct.
And again, I don't know your particular.
It's a want or best practice, but with the ABO, it's a have to.
Can they show?
Oh, so the ABO is the issue, not the controller's office.
No, it's the ABO.
Okay. That's a little different than us.
Authority's budget office, that we report to.
Thanks.
So we've set that up as our UTEP for solar.
It's unfortunate we have to do this, but I guess we have to.
I know, we reached out, there's nothing we can do. It's just this kid just opened up another can of stores.
Does anybody really look at these reports after the fact?
Well, the ABO could come back to us and do things, yeah. Obviously,
I mean, they can't, but I think this gets buried in the file.
It's there for the public. Well, it's there for public.
well, if we did it from the beginning, we'd be okay, Mike, but we were told we were doing, well, we thought we were doing the right thing. We submitted everything with the outline, and we can continue that way with the solar. Nobody had a problem until he said, oh, they're not receiving the same benefit. Well, the assessors aren't assessing it the same. Same way is gonna happen with these other wind projects. You think unless they're all Dan Maxwell's group, if they're not, one over another if they do what they wanna do.
State agencies are big, and you come in, they read things different, or they do things different, and then you have to make that change. It has every day on the course.
John, just a quick thought. Just maybe it's worth it to reach out to perhaps another peer IDA to see if they've gone through the same. Just a thought. at
They
some point in
have.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked with Jefferson County, they have with a railroad project, very similar. They had
Okay,
to go rethink everything with their ABO, yeah. The ABO is
Okay,
not
thank you.
different than the controller. We're not as worried about what the controller says. They come in, and right, guys, every other thing, is this the law or best? Well, it's best practice. Okay, next. And, but we don't want, everything's gonna be put out there, though. Their whole report gets released. So
right.
that'll get released. Nothing happens, we don't lose our things or anything. But the ABO can really come and put a lot of pressure on you. That's the one we want to make happen.
Makes sense.
Lewis County, has a lot more windows than Herkimer County. They're doing, I mean, do you know the person there?
I know her. I haven't asked her that, but they reference Lewis County in other conversations, so I'm pretty sure they probably started doing it that way. But when Lewis County did it, I remember everything was all together. It was one project, it was different than what we did.
They need a motion to extend the. For a second. Okay,
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. Item number 8 is micro and update. Victoria, why don't you listen?
Yes, on page 17 in your packet, you'll see a breakdown. They're listed is each of the 9 businesses which were granted micro enterprise funds. There's a list of their project amount and the total that was paid out to them. Most importantly, the full-time job commitment. Overall, there was a commitment to add 13 full-time equivalent positions. And through the program, we actually showed proof of the owners adding 20. So during COVID, I think that's a pretty great thing.
Very good. Need a motion to accept that? Oh, no, actually, there's one. Action. I think,
Where are we at 222?
And 222, there is enough funding in the pot of money to accept and push through another application. I don't have any at this time, so always accepting applications for that.
And we are reviewing them. People, they have submitted things, but there's been things where they haven't met the criteria, yet they say they do, and we have to push back on them a little bit. We've asked Tony to do some different things, to write up some things for us too. And we're seeing a lot of that they want to try to, skip the rules, and we just can't do that.
Yeah. What happened to that one? She doesn't really live here.
Oh, that was from Herkimer. She was in the old Mungersville. And there is nothing from us. We submitted the last thing from Tony and that's it. Yeah,
You sent her a letter saying.
Yeah.
She-
Yeah. However, I did on a new page I saw on Facebook the other day that talks about things happening in Herkimer, and saying there was an open mic night at that the other night. But it wasn't her, it was some gentleman who posted it. So I haven't reached out to Joe Torelli, but to be honest with you, I really don't want to open that can, so I'd rather just let it go.
Item 9, thank you, Victoria. Appreciate it. Item 9, Skyler Business Park. Let's go to landfill companies. 20 pages.
That's the bid for the great bid too, for the additional road going up the cul-de-sac. For those of you who have not been to the Skyler Business Park, shame on you see it from the thruway now. They clear, it's unbelievable. We're getting cut. You can see it from 5S looking down. You could go to Kate Ricky's bedroom and see it.
Oh, no.
Well, you were in Kate Ricky's bedroom. Christmas, everyone. So,
He didn't do a show up and he.
So-
No, but from the farm, it's blocking our view of the valley.
Oh, that's a
That fountain has a issue. It's all closed now. And I see that the Pepsi building has got steam coming out the top, so they
Yep.
must have heat.
They have, they brought in propane because we're trying to work with National Grid. It's been very difficult. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, I mean, they're gonna put in everything but the top.
Yeah, top.
Everything but the top coat coming off the cul-de-sac, off of Dodge Drive down, so they can start doing some work in the field for the other 25 acres. So 155,000. And they're also cleaning up one spot that we needed to have them take a look at on where Diamond Drive met Ken Dodge. So I believe this is an excellent, what we should do, and move ahead with Landco to finish it. They had equipment on the site. I think that's what gave us the best price too, so.
Total
155. Yeah.
The motion. Bruce, second. Ricky, discussion. All in favor, aye.
I just have a quick question.
Yes, Dan.
When would they be doing this work? Is this something that's going to be right now?
Yep.
Okay,
They're
that works.
there
I
now.
wasn't sure if it was something that's going to be deferred because of weather or whatnot.
No, they're there now.
Sounds good. Thanks.
As long as it's not paved, it can be the sub-base.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 9B, land sale agreement. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay.
Aye.
Land sale agreement, page 21, 22.
This is, Tony, I think we might want to move this to executive session because they're setting up, like a land sale agreement with a realtor that talks about what we want to pay them.
If your pleasure, you get any more discussion about having done this before?
No,
It might be subject to, negotiation.
yeah,
So
okay.
it's appropriate.
All right, we'll move this to executive session. There's vice counsel. Land payment, 9C.
And payment, now we see.
Item 9C.
Yeah.
That is, the Windecker.
Oh, okay. So we're still waiting for, right, Tony, we're just waiting for that for us to have all the acknowledgements on
Well,
that.
by coincidence,
Okay.
I received after 3 weeks, the electronic document yesterday morning. It was sent out to the title and escrow companies yesterday. I have a copy of the discharge, so probably by the first or second week of January, assuming everybody gets back to me, the holidays in place, we're should release everything at the Fed.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, that'll be sure.
There's one more.
We need to vote on that.
No,
No.
we already did all the voting on that, I think, too, right?
But you wanted to get a vote, just so when in time it was released.
It's not necessary, it's contractual, but
Okay.
if you want
I think we should,
to
too.
vote on it.
Yeah, so what we'd like to see is a vote to acknowledge that we need to pay them the
31,836.
for the crops that disrupted during the final year of their contract.
And Stacy, for paper trail, I want to check the company escrow account to you, the check to the IDA.
I'm sorry, what?
Why are we really, we agreed on that.
I know, but I think now that everything's cleared out to keep the process going, I think it's better that
I didn't really hear, so.
I wanted the money to come from the IDA to the Windeckers, not from my escrow account. Yeah, because I just want a paper trail.
way. So do we.
But,
The auditors might want a paper trail too.
Yeah.
so it's resolved with the prior landowners
Yes, Tom's up.
as far as.
So as soon as the money's released and everything's released, they'll come to us, and we'll distribute a check from us to
I
them.
need a motion to, make a transaction. Anyone? Dave,
I'll
second by Dave. Any discussion? David, you may want to, I'll take Mike as a second.
Okay.
First. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed,
Aye.
nay? Carried. Item number 10, John, want to get a short.
Wait, there's one more under 9. I know, I wrote it in late yesterday. We had some discussions probably 4 or 5 months ago, a solar company looking to run a line through our property to help connect to their substation. It would run along easements we already have in place. We've set up a meeting with that company. Just so you know, Tony, she wanted to have a conversation with me before we got together with you, and I declined because I don't feel as comfortable with that. And then she called anyways. I'm not going to call her back, and hopefully she's listening. And so we need to discuss when we have our meeting together with her. So I'm not really sure why she would do that after I said no, but everybody needs to know that we're going to look at it, and then we'll have a full decision on that. But it shouldn't interfere with anything we're doing on site, because we already have the easements in place. But
Just the Skylar Business Park?
yes, the Skylar Business Park. So just wanted everybody to be aware of that.
Okay, John gives a short,
Short version is that we want to go into executive session to discuss us annexing some additional property in the town of Manheim.
item number 11, National Grid, there's an update what's going on there.
National Grid, it's been difficult to deal with. Finally had meetings with upper level people for both electric and gas in the past 2 weeks. One individual told us everything was done. He was sending me over information because they wanted a down payment all the, talking with National Grid, our marketing person, we're gonna get everything reimbursed. But still, they need the money up front. I said, fine. Never got the letter, contacted National Grid. That kid went on vacation before Thanksgiving. It's not coming back to electric. Just didn't care about the project. So we got his boss on the line, a bunch of other people, Brian Anderson, Tom Kluger, local guys. So the gas is moving ahead. The other day, we had the same situation with the electric for Fountainhead. Got on the phone with them, no worries, it's moving ahead now. They might send us something that we need to front some of the money, but all of it will be coming back to us. What I find totally amazing, like the gas lines will run from the main on 5 to the park up to the cul-de-sac is 130,000, and we're worried about that from us. But they're not. The guys at the lower level just follow the process. So the managers are all involved. So we should, and I said, look, we're still looking at a few weeks away. So we're probably looking at the end of January for gas for both companies. And then we're hoping before the end of January, electric for Fountainhead. Electric's already at Pepsi.
What's their reasoning of why you pay them and then they give it back? Why don't they just forget it?
That's the reasoning that we had our first meeting in May and in December, and they still don't have the design.
Return on investment and make sure they're giving customers that reflect that.
No, well, these are, no, they wouldn't
No
set this up
charge.
without the customers, Jim. Both customers have their order numbers for both gas and electric since August. This is we had to continually push and push from all levels. Kurt Ackerman helped us, which was grateful. We went up high. We talked to Art Hamlin, the head of economic development for National Grid. So we went high, in the middle, low, everywhere we could to push, and we finally got the meetings going.
Actually have a letter in writing that they're going to reimburse you through your.
Oh, Brian Anderson has sent everything. We're good. And they're gonna reimburse the company for whatever costs they are too. We're not worried about the costs. That's so small. The issue being is that they're not following through. What happened was our local design for gas guy left. They went out to bid in the company. They let a girl, I'm sorry, it didn't matter, a person, take the position who was new and only did residential. So commercial gas is a lot different. Pipelines are different. All the equipment that they use is different. They asked for help. National Grid said, sure. 2 months go by, she still didn't have help. You gotta feel bad for that person. You don't want them to quit either. And you're in a room with 50 grumpy guys complaining to her. These birds are good. What do you do? You know, and I felt bad, kept calling higher up. This person needs help. So they finally got her help. But the electric, we can't figure out what they've been saying because it's nobody knows. It's just a game. It's just a game. I appreciate everything Brian Anderson and Tom Kluger has done for us. But we still, like I talked about the last meeting, we still need to front something, which is fine. We'll get it back.
Item 12, cost benefit analysis tool for the IDA.
What is that in my packet? Did we give the quote or any of that to everybody?
No, they already approved for us to get the.
Oh, that's right,
then
and with
the
the
new stuff is
support.
in-
Okay. That cost benefit tool we approved the last time, that'll help us do better with justifying the projects. But our application isn't quite up to par to be equal with that. So the person, the group, MRB, group, that does this cost benefit tool, upgrade us through the service agreement, our application to make it more in line. So we'll get 99.9% of the questions answered in our application. Told them to look at it too when we're done with it. And make sure then we can add it to our cost benefit analysis. That's one of the largest hits we're going to receive from the controller's office is that those numbers. We know that we're bringing in jobs, we see it, but we just have the documentation on everything that shows it. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that. So our application isn't going to be that simple little 3 or 4 page application anymore. It's probably going to be a good 10-page application with some amendment to it or some exhibits to it. Not amendments, but exhibits to it to make it so we can get the data we actually need and trace the data as well. It's important we know what employees are coming over, wages and all kind of things to justify It's only gonna come down from the ABO and the state through IDAs as we keep growing and doing more things. So, nothing on that, it was discussion. I do have one more that came in late last night, and they don't know about it as well. The Lee apartment, which is public now, we did see that the company is, looking for sign off, and moving ahead with a public hearing. Our agreement calls for half of the administration fee to come in. It'd be about $120,000 with the preliminary agreement and a public hearing. Sometimes we push that off. I feel in this case, we should keep it at that to receive our half a percentage now with the public hearing. But from the board has objection to that. What's that? Okay.
Okay, now, that was our last item. We'll go to comments by elected. Is there anyone in attendance or via phone or Zoom? Zoom. Any comments?
Vote on the resolution for business park, being
No, we'll go ahead and do it.
I will you all for
Oh, we have
coming.
project updates.
It's next.
Oh, I thought you were saying-
Oh, slow down, slow down.
Thank you for coming.
I want to thank these officials for coming, but I was gonna say, make comments later, I could, geez. Project updates, other business.
Do they have that else?
They do, yes, they all have,
Yeah, you can proceed.
How about the board evaluation?
yes, they all have.
Okay. Submissions to the Times Telegram.
That is how it's been difficult for us to get our submissions into the Times Telegram. Now it's all going to the Observer Dispatch. Whenever we submit any type of, our meeting notice, for instance, it's not being published in the Times Telegram, it's going to the OD.
And we received notice too that they're not going to publish some of their papers over the holidays. It's all going to be combined. And probably that'll be the way it's going.
They haven't replaced the down on the township, and I don't think they have any plan on doing it first. I know in the legislature, he's trying to contact that we had. So maybe Ed Harris, I think it is, you have it, or? I
Here we
think
get
we
it.
have it. Yeah, if you don't. And these are our contacts right now. Okay, there's some, John, you want to update on that?
Also with paychecks, we had some issues. Stacy reached out to paychecks, forced them into a couple things. Now you got us to save how much per year? 3,000 something?
Yeah, it was gonna be about 2,000 in admin fees.
So
So
she
they
got us
kept
reduced.
jacking it up, so we went back and they all of a sudden have another plan available. So we're going in a different plan for the same services, but a lot less.
Very good.
Karen, I hate to ask this question, but do we need paychecks? I mean, they do payroll, right? And they do send in pensions or,
No, we
Take
send our
that.
pensions in,
So
but they
you-
do all the reporting,
so
the.
it's
Fed.
really, I mean, it's three of you, right? As far as the payroll.
Mhm.
Could you ever consider doing it in-house or no?
We did, but if you would like, I mean, we just talked about more things that we had to do, and that's one reason.
I knew you would say, I hate you for
You're
bringing that.
still
Well, we don't hate
reporting
you,
the
but-
same amount of reports, no matter if it's 3 employees or 20 employees, you still have to do those
Right,
reports.
but,
And we're
And
looking
they're
at-
up
I
on the
mean,
laws.
you said you saved 3, so what are you paying paychecks for 3 people?
It's, what's it gonna be now?
$72 a
A
month.
month, right? They were, yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me how you're spending $3,000.
Because it was a lot more than that prior.
Well, yeah, well, 3,000 a month is another 250, that's 4 times what you're paying.
No, we saved 3,000 over a year.
Right, but that's 250 a month.
Yeah.
You're paying 7.
Yeah, we got it lowered back down. All of a sudden, we reviewed it, and said, holy cow, Stacy reached out.
All right.
But we did, before we were doing it in-house, and it's just, there's just too much going on right now. You know. We're constantly looking for that resignation letter too, and that takes time.
I just, I have small business clients, that their accountant set up the thing, they plug in the salary, spits it out.
We did that before, and then we switched to
You do
paychecks.
it, I mean, all right.
It's $72 per employer.
No.
What I'm taking from this is you can negotiate the paychecks.
It's like,
Yeah.
your cable.
I'm gonna share that with all my customers.
Yeah.
If they hadn't caught it, they wouldn't have.
So we are saving money there, and we are gonna continue on with them. Project East, we're moving ahead with that. More and more data happens every day. Project Twilight, I had a conversation about that last week. We won't need to form the CDC or the LDC this year, which is good. Probably in, I'm gonna say January, maybe early February of next year to form that. Just the BOA, we had a meeting. Things are progressing great with that down in Dollarville. We see a lot of interest from the people there. It's the Brownfield Opportunity Area Assessment Grant. A lot of feedback from the individuals that attended the meeting. That went well. So, the rest can wait for executive.
Anyone else comments for the organization, blah, blah, blah? Which, Mike, on behalf of the board, our condolences. Yes, to the board. All right.
It'll be 91 next month. They'll reconvene his tractor in September, so he's doing okay.
Yeah.
I marked his it'll be 91, didn't I think?
I'm already doing this.
Right.
Anyone else?
Can you keep walking me down?
We'll get around the phone and. All right. I need a motion to go into executive session to talk about some contract negotiations. Contract negotiations. Motion Scarano, second by Mike. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?